In ultra hardcore, death is inevitable. And just like in life, it is a fate that most must suffer twice. For you die once when your hearts hit 0, and again when you are forgotten. So it all comes down to your legacy. Whatever you choose for that to be, whether a grand machine, an industry, or a tree whose shade you'll never see. A secret hidden far away, or a mark that can be seen from space. For once your life will fade away, your legacy is all that stays. So I realized something. When this video goes live, it's my birthday. Well, not exactly my birthday, but it is Legundo's birthday. I made this YouTube channel 9 years ago today. That's kind of exciting. And I've been thinking about what I'm going to do for this episode, and also for a stream that I promised in the last video that I didn't get to do because of TwitchCon. This will be the stream. We're gonna map out a ton of space here, which means 2 things. We need to get a whole bunch of leather, and I think I have a fun way to do that, and a whole bunch of iron. We've already sorted that. But that's the stream. Let's talk about this video, and I have an idea. You see, last episode we ventured out and made the Frontier Towers. We've built 3 of them so far, and it was a very combat-heavy episode. We also finally decorated the Founders Town Nether portal, and it looks like this. Ta-da! A little gold mine right here. So we've done a lot of big things. This episode, we're gonna focus on the little things. For example, this place needs a little bit more storage, and the world needs some more monuments. Plus, I made a little community post for you all to interact with, and it's time to show you what I plan to do with those questions. So as I seem to say often, let's venture out and go that way. So here we go again, venturing out into the unknown of UHC Generations. I filled my pocket and my ender chest with all of the materials I could afford to bring, mainly focusing on wool, some woods, and a few other supplies, heading out to the east. And it turns out, for the first time in quite a while, I wasn't actually the first person to head off in this direction. Wait a minute. Someone's been here before? Yeah, looks like it. Somebody finished this portal at some point. Ow. That was stupid. Quick pop into the nether? Why not? Let's, wait, what's this? Sorry, got all the loot. Moai, this is fine. I do realize I forgot my Silk Touch pickaxe, but, or my non-Silk Touch pickaxe. We'll deal with that later. Ow! Whoa! Uncalled for. Whew. Okay, that was just unnecessary. Well, that answers the question of what this portal leads to. Now we know. Actually, let's just grab my just grab my ender chest while we're at it. I left it at home. So I took the shortcut back home that a previous generation had provided me with, picked up an ender chest and some obsidian from the other portal that was laying here unlit right next to the site of Josh's death, and continued on my journey out to the east, finding a spot nestled into the river right near the edge of the desert where it felt like this could be a good place, somewhere where someone in the past had potentially set up camp, finding themselves a brief bit of respite right next to a somewhat strange stone obelisk that stands here piercing out of the sands and had left a question in their wake as they expired in this world. Because for the first time, I'm adding you to UHCG. So now you know what we're doing today. I'm adding just little builds all over the world. That's the plan. But I'm not just doing it alone. I'm bringing you with me. This question is from Zero Chi. What's it like being in a project like this? Couldn't imagine the headspace you'd be in for having a family tree of a server. So, how I feel about it? I think it's really cool. I think UHCG fixes the one problem that I have with hardcore Minecraft, which is always being alone. You can make really cool stuff, but it sucks never being able to share it. And now that I've answered the question, this will wait here for a future generation. I'm just going to put a bunch of these around. You might know where some are, you might not. That's the fun of it. But if a future gen finds one, they have a question waiting for them right like this. We built the big towers, the landmarks, the things that we're announcing. These, I'm even gonna build some of these off camera. You're never gonna see them until somebody finds them. And with one done and a very full inventory, let's start heading back home. What are you doing here, little buddy? Where did you even come from? There's not a plant in sight. You are so lost. Quilby, come on, let's go. Figure it out. So leaving the lost familiar of a lost generation behind off in the desert, I returned back home via the nether, repaired my ender chest, which I had accidentally broken with my fortune pickaxe, and started gathering some new supplies. This time, a lot of spruce wood that I could use to start on a second build. For this one, I ran off in another direction. I'm not gonna tell you which, because I want this to be something that somebody can come find by either going through my videos, or maybe we'll just wander past one day on their own adventures. I found the nearest mountain to spawn the icy frozen peaks nearby and decided this would be a good spot to commemorate climbing a mountain. It's a goal in a lot of people's lives. Look at how many people go to Everest every year. So let's add a cool mountaintop right here in UHCG's history. I picked a few flowers from nearby, cut some of the tuff to start working on a little bit of a base, and built out a pinnacle to capture the wind and mark somebody claiming this mountaintop as their own, with a place to rest their head, some small supplies, and bees once again flying around me in a biome that they very much do not belong. The second of our builds was now done. And there we go, second base all done. We can zoom out a little bit to show this one off. What the bees doing? But we have just a nice flag on the top of the mountain and then a little platform for those who actually reach the summit. This is nice. There's not a lot of cold builds in UHCG. It's a lot of desert. So I was kind of excited to build something here on this mountain. I should sleep. But another build, another question. And I changed this one a little bit. Josh Wen asks, what does your Minecraft skin represent? They specifically asked about the little bead that you see right there on my wrist. There are 3 beads on there, one from my wife and 2 from my daughters. I did blue because at the time it was just blue. I should probably make them all pink. But I just wanted to have them with me whenever I'm running around and doing Minecraft. The skin is just like adventurer version of me. I've had this face for literally forever. I had one skin in Minecraft for about 10 years, then I changed it to this. And this is wonderful. This is made by Devious Dino. They did such an amazing job. I'm so happy with how I look. But now, whoever comes next will also tell you their story. And now it's time to head home, so boop. When bursting several thousand blocks back towards spawn, it was time to gather some additional resources and head out in another direction. This time I'm gonna take the nether because I just wanna venture out far. I'm going in a random direction, just trying to find something on my map that I could navigate through, making my way into a nether fortress, which I'm blocking off to avoid all of the wither skeletons, fighting all of the magma cubes that are bouncing around here, and trying to get to a place where I wanted to have a portal, very far off on one end, and then realizing that I didn't have a flint and steel. So we're gonna have to do something a little weird. I dug a little 1x2 tunnel from the nearest blaze spawner over to where I had already chosen to leave the portal, thinking if I can just get a blaze to follow me all the way down that path and shoot at me, maybe it could activate the portal. This is gonna be potentially the wildest way to ever light a portal. The problem was the dozens of blocks that blaze would need to travel just wasn't working. They weren't making their way down the tunnel. So I moved my portal to directly across the hallway from the blaze spawner. And this was just so much fun to watch. This is not gonna be the safest nether spawn, but it'll be fine. Oh, so close. Come on, shoot at me. Yes, it worked! Oh my god! That has to be the dumbest way I've ever seen to light a portal, but it lit. Please be somewhere safe on the other side. That would be wonderful. Village. Perfect. So heading off into another cardinal point, I found a piece of Minecraft terrain that you can't get anymore. Savannas don't generate like this as of some of the more recent updates, and having it be right next to a swamp with a witch hut right here, that's a really potentially useful place for gathering a whole lot of redstone from a witch farm. But I ascended another peak, this one more tropical and arid compared to frozen and chilled, and enjoyed the view. I miss terrain like this. Don't get me wrong, I love the new mountains. They're really cool, but it's always been some of my favorites. Oh wait, those are the bugged. It's the new skeletons. Not even close. Got one. I'm sorry, sheep, I don't have shears. What are you looking at? With a secure place to sleep, I found these two floating islands right here that are shattered dark oak, which I don't know how I keep finding this. That's not actually a terrain, whatever. I pillared up to the first one, put down a bucket of water, then pillared up to the second, put down another column of water, and started building a small base platform inside this little nestled nook of the crescent moon on the top one. There, I was able to put a few different things, some ladders, all the way up to the peak of these floating islands. I even put a nether portal in the wall on this one, so it'd be easier to get to in the future, because this is just a really cool spot, and that witch hut might be useful later. And pulling back from it, I just love the way this looks. I feel like this one's not done, but it's done with what I have. I really want to hang something from right there. I think that would be really cool. But I kind of don't have the materials for that. Dang pockets. But we have another base, just a little platform. I didn't go too crazy with any of these. I want them all to feel like failed starter bases. People who spawned in the world and just died. Or they didn't go super far, just history. Make you think about who else is out there and what they might be doing. And that leads oh so perfectly into this question. Where do you find the inspiration for the videos that you make? This one is a lot of fun. For me, I like watching different TV shows and trying to see how I can implement that in the game, or watching YouTube channels that don't do Minecraft stuff and how I can translate that into making cool stuff in Minecraft. I really want to make jet lag. I don't know how, but I really want to make jet lag. I also have a bunch of mood boards and different builds, and I'll do a bunch of like art searches for art inspirations for builds, and I said moody and it started raining, of course. But I just like finding art in different places and seeing how you could bring it into the game. That's my favorite thing to do. There's actually a book I'd recommend. It's called Steal Like an Artist. I don't agree with all of it, but I do think a good portion of it is very, very correct. We're gonna head home because I have a lot of resources to gather. It's time to get started on the big project for the video. Don't worry, I'm gonna hide more of these around the world, just you don't get to see them. But we're not gonna be here for long. I have other things to do. First is probably pop over to the Vault of Stars for some supplies. And second is streaming with you all, which we're gonna intercut right here. And this is the first of 2 streams where we're actually going into UHCG and exploring the world together. The first time, we were just sailing around the ocean directly north of Founders Town, an ocean that probably needs a name, but I don't have a good one for it just yet. But we're just mapping the area, trying to expand out the cartography in Historian's Rest to account for everything from the gullet to spawn and all of the additions that we've made to the world here near its beginning. But I did get up to some silly trouble as well, mainly to do with some animals. Did it open the sheep's gates? No, it only opened the front ones.
Oh no.
Oh no, it did! Oh no, it did! Oh no, it did! Oh no! What do we do here? Come on. Everybody in. This needs to break because they need more than a single block gap. All right, get in here. Get in. Okay. Well. But we're throwing eggs in the air and seeing if we get chicken or no chicken. I'm gonna license this to Howie Mandel, one bald man to another. We're gonna make a brand new show. It's gonna be on cable at some point in the next year. It's about 30,000 points in the pot, so let's see. Chicken or no chicken? And this is it. This is all we're doing. We have a chicken, finally! This is the third game that we've played, and this is the first chicken that we've had spawn. What do we, don't look at me like that. Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. But with a new pet secured right outside of Founders Town and some shenanigans shared with the community, it was time for me to return to the stage. And so tasked with a grand purpose, not only to leave small mysteries out and abound, I wish to leave a mark, something that will be remembered for all generations to come, something grand, bold, the biggest thing to be done yet. And the answer was left for me by the generation past, and it is my duty to make it here for generations to come. Okay, so I lied at the beginning of the video. We're not only building small things. In fact, we're actually gonna be adding, by sheer blocks alone, as far as I know, the largest build for UHCG in its history. Or at least the largest thing that somebody has built in one go. I have an obsession with maps in Minecraft, from Historian's Rest to all of the work that we've been doing in mapping things out in the stream just previous, but I'm not just mapping that out for no reason. I'm establishing my canvas, because the one thing that I think any good world has is some grand monument to its design. And lucky for me, my predecessor has created one. This little logo that you see in the intro of all of the videos. Why don't we put that into the world? So I took their logo, converted it using a website into a bunch of Minecraft blocks, took that into a creative world and modified the blocks because it was using netherite blocks for some accents, which was not going to work, and came up with a schematic that required tens of thousands of blocks of material. Luckily, almost all of them farmable. One of the most difficult things about that, though, is we're gonna need some invisibility potions and some water breathing potions to potentially go out and farm one of them. Returning all the way back over towards that northernmost point and making a closer portal right here on the edge of the water. I'm putting down all of the materials. I'm making myself a new bed, a new bit of safety, removing my armor, and doing potentially the scariest thing I've done in UHCG to date. This is so stressful. Let's do this. No way, I got the tide trim. Oh, that's awesome. Come on, drop your spikes. Got him. Okay, that was so nerve-wracking. Sponge room! Oh my goodness, that's so cool. This is one of the unfinished variants too. What do we got? A minute on mining fatigue. Okay. Oh, I know you can't see me, but I'm right here. We're just gonna wait. We gotta get away from here. Quick. Oh, that is so tense. I hate not having armor on. You just see a pickaxe just moving in the water right now. This is terrifying. Oh, hold on. I'm about to become corporeal again. And... boop. There I am. Okay. You can put that back on. With the monument cleared and now safe for conversion to a farm, I organized all of my inventory. I fought a few creepers and slimes in the swamp just to pick up some additional slime components for future redstone builds, and then went out and leaded the sheep to have them back near the portal so that way we could be breeding them, because wool is going to be very important for this too. Okay, so we have a monument, we have sheep. We need a whole bunch of soul sand. I know where to find that. And we need to go ahead and just lock in and make this farm. But it is late today, so I'm gonna go collect some soul sand and then call it a night and build a farm tomorrow when I am not tired. So I made a quick trip back over towards the nether, shoveling up several stacks of soul sand, try saying that 6 times fast, and swimming around with a dolphin as I dropped all of my materials off. After one good night of some very restful sleep, I downed a few more potions, put on the tutorial, and started getting to work. First, making the portals on the top of the spawn, and then going so far to level the topmost pyramid of the farm. That wasn't a part of the tutorial, but since I had a little bit more time to invest, it is going to mean I'm going to get better rates here. I had to be careful because the guardians were constantly stealing my boat, but as I cleared that out, I was able to build out the temporary platform, get it all lined up and flooded, and then went to grab a little bit more obsidian from a nearby lava pool and craft out the fence gates I would need for the corners that I could get everything set up here. I'm using all of the netherrack from the nether that I had collected as a really cheap and easy block that I can break for scaffolding, throwing up a massive scaffolding tower up towards the AFK platform up in the sky, which I built and used the prismarine to cover, and then built a glass bridge back over towards my little forward operating base on the little peninsula of the swamp, using water to be able to get up and down. Normally, you'd have an elytra to do something like this, but I like still being rooted to the ground and having to come up with different ways of travel. The portals led to a somewhat less than perfect and convenient space here in the nether, but I was able to dig up into the ceiling to be able to actually contain the portal to make a small storage room here, covering it up with basalt on all sides, so I didn't have to worry about an errant gas fireball coming up and blowing up thousands of items if I wasn't careful. And speaking about not being careful, well, no, I wasn't paying attention. I kept telling myself that it was getting low. Welp, looks like I'm gonna have to take a brief trip over to the Vault of Stars to, make a new pickaxe. Oh, that's so stupid of me. That is an unnecessary break. So, one quick subspace bubble across to the Vault of Stars. I did a little bit of trading with all of the villagers that I had collected and crafted myself up a brand new, perfect fortune pickaxe. Oh wait, this needs to be not fortune. Well, I made a new fortune pickaxe while we're at it. Why not? So I did a little bit more work, chopping down trees, converting that into sticks, trading with all of my villagers again to build myself a perfect Silk Touch pickaxe. I swear I'm a professional. I am good at Minecraft. I promise I'm good at Minecraft. This time we've done it correctly. Silky legs 2. Hopefully this time we don't break it. I gotta run all the way back. This is gonna take a while. Time for another slip space bubble.
Transition.
Getting back to work over at the farm, I chopped down another spruce tree to be able to make all of these soul fire campfires that I needed, finishing building out the portal up in the roof, and this time actually doing the closing off and setting up all of the collection system underneath here. Now, I could go so far as to set up auto crafters underneath all of these chests and auto craft everything down, but I don't know how to do all of the patterns for that with all of the different patterns of prismarine, and I don't really have the space or time to do auto filtering. And that lack of space and time was letting me rush and start to make some really stupid decisions. Okay, that was pretty stupid. I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I shouldn't have done that either. Okay, let's heal up a little here. That was so dumb. Why did I think that was a good idea? The good news is, once we do this, we don't have to worry about storage ever again. But I finished getting all of the chests in place, returning back to the overworld, downing one of my final invisibility potions to place down all of the soul sand underneath the platform that I had set up to actually force the guardians up and into the killing chamber, breaking all of the scaffolding blocks along the way, and going up to my AFK spot to watch the magic happen. And there we go. About 3 hours worth of work, most of that travel time because I've done some very silly things in the nether. But here we go. We have a working guardian farm, and they are very mad at that squid. And now for the really scary part. I'm gonna just AFK here while I go play on the MCYT rest server. This should be fun.
I'm gonna die. I'll take it, but don't throw anything at me. Don't throw it at me. I'm going to die. I will shotgun you.
Can I throw something else at him? You can just nod. What if I say pretty please? I can't tell. There's some vertical motion there. Now, you're probably wondering, how am I going to transport all of these items? And believe me, I was wondering that as well. Without shulker boxes from defeating the dragon and being in the end, mega projects like this have proven insanely difficult because the sheer scale of materials you need to collect and the amount of trips it would take to move anything is baffling, to the point where it's practically impossible. And I thought about everything. I thought about going through the nether and carving a 1,000-block rail line to be able to move materials from one location to another. Efficient, but inflexible. I tried to come up with some sort of llama launch system, which would allow me to cannon llamas towards a specific destination to be able to transport items through the chests that I had on them. I tried thinking about a few other different solutions when I realized it was staring right in front of me the whole time. Boats. Specifically, chest boats, and specifically leads on chest boats. Now look, it wasn't perfect. Trying to sail about 15 boats on leads means that they do collide into each other and eventually sink underwater, meaning I was dragging some boats on the bottom of the ocean floor. But it was effectively shulker boxes, just transported physically in the world as an entity, which meant for the first time ever, I was actually able to move materials in bulk as long as I had a connection to the ocean. And thankfully, the ocean is where we're going to be working. Finding a small patch of sand and land in the middle of the ocean north of Founders Town, I was able to set up some other small farms that could be built on site. The first of which was a small sheep farm. The design for this is by IanX04, and it relies on the fact that the wool actually spawns inside glass blocks and torch burnout mechanics, all sorts of things that I'm not smart enough to know about, but I am smart enough to build if given a tutorial video. The second of which was a snow farm, which I actually built a bunch of different times, so I kind of know how this one works intrinsically, and I'm able to set it all up and get Industry Island up and running. Completely original name, I know, nothing like it exists in UHCG's history, but it is going to allow me to generate materials while I'm out and taking all of the prismarine, all of the terracotta that I've collected from Founders Town, and using that to build UHCG's presence inside of UHCG itself. So I popped back over towards Founders Town, picked up the maps from spawn, and sailed around to mark out the corners of each of these with unnecessary. And sailed around to mark out the corners of each of these with small little prismarine brackets that I'd be able to use to keep track of everything for the template that I had designed for myself. I did a little bit of farming in both of the farms, but this was going to require a bit of trust and some overnight waiting.
Hi, it's me, and I'm here with my phone.
I'm uploading another video that I'm gonna work on, and I was working on that while AFK. It is late, or potentially early at this point. I'm not 100% certain. What time does this count as? Does this count as early now? Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed. You can hear it ticking in the background. I'm gonna go to bed now, but we're gonna let the game AFK because I need over 2 double chests of wool. That's gonna take a while. So yeah. And with everything set, it was time to build this thing. And I decided to do it with you on the actual stream anniversary of my channel during a massive birthday celebration. This is what we're building today. A good portion of what we will be building today. But it was funny in the mapping stream. Somebody guessed that I was gonna do a pixel art. Hello, friend. What do you have? I actually need cyan dye. Give me your cyan dye.
There's nothing like feeling alive. It's your birthday. There's nothing like feeling alive. It's your birthday. I just want to celebrate.
Green terracotta, done. There's a stack of sandstone, done. Snow block, I need 3,000, and then we can make orange terracotta. We only needed 5. This is the insanity that I have bestowed upon myself. What am I doing?
I just want to celebrate. I just want to celebrate. 'Cause it's a good day, good life. I just want to celebrate all night.
And just like that, we're done. We are finished. Every map is updated, filled, and ready to go to spawn. And I am so excited to see this in place. But you might notice just the tiniest bit of gold is missing. I think we'll deal with that next time. The curtain falls, the show is done. I rest now with the setting sun. For soon again I'll return to say, I live to die another day.